Hello and welcome to Infinite Realms. This is the developer vlog version 2022.0.4. What have we got? A new look preset interface, an FPS counter, a new rendering system and a lot more improvements under the hood. My name is Danny, I'm the software developer on the Infinite Realms team. Let's do this. The most prominent feature of the new Infinite Realms version is the look preset window. In previous releases we had two simple drop-down menus. One for the look category and one to directly apply the look preset to the effect system. This was a quick and kinda okay solution when I first implemented it more than a year ago. But the categories and file names alone in most cases were not very meaningful. This is why we designed a new look preset selection from the ground up and gave it its own dedicated window. Each preset now has some metadata, such as a preview screenshot, a more or less meaningful name and a description. The whole team contributed to this project. So many thanks to you. I would have gone crazy writing all these descriptions myself. The preview screenshot is rendered in a special old-new comparison style you may have seen on some web pages, comparing the selected style to a vanilla screenshot without any preset. Also, there's a search function now that looks for keywords in preset names and descriptions to filter results shown in addition to the category dropdown. In case you do not have Infinite Realms Early Access and want it, write a mail to nina@megavoid.de. We do not have an automated payment system yet, but she can work something out with you real quick. The look preset feature was on our roadmap and relatively easy to implement. So what did it take us so long to get the new version out of the door? Well, we had a rather annoying presentation of our software, showing off all the fancy stuff we have added in the past months. When we got to the new weather effects, we suddenly noticed that fog was not rendered on the projector that acted as secondary screen. Just imagine me standing there praising the upcoming heavy fog weather template and just showing off a clear sky to the crowd. We could play it down at the presentation, but the bug had to be fixed for the next version. Along with the fact that dual screen performance always tended to be relatively bad in the past, I came up with a rather creative solution. But first, down to the issue. In the past, there were two virtual cameras, each rendering the scene for one of the displays. This is rather inefficient, as the whole 3D scene has to be rendered twice, effectively cutting the FPS rate, or frames per second, the system should be capable of, nearly in half. Further, what caused the problems with the fog and some other plugins we use was the fact that some plugins or effects only work on the main camera, as most 3D games only use one main camera and things are optimized for that. So how to fix all of that? I expanded the system to 3 cameras. The main camera now renders the 3D scene and saves the result in a virtual texture or image. This texture is then passed to a game master and a player camera, where additional stuff like user interface and fog of war are rendered on top. This also has some nice side effects, as fog of war is no longer in the scene. That caused big and tall things like trees to be visible above the fog. Fog of war now completely covers everything. Also, post-processing effects like bloom and color manipulation is done before passing the scene to the secondary cameras. This protects all UI and tools from glowing and being colorized the wrong way. Last but not least, frame rates are way better than before. In the settings menu, you can now set the resolution of the main render camera. We removed the main screen resolution option, but will re-add it in a future version. After having everything ready, we ran some more tests and saw relatively low frame rates on 4K and 5K displays on weaker hardware. That can only be explained with the UI being forced to be rendered in native display resolution now. But for the time being, this is acceptable, as the performance gains due to the new system outweigh this issue. There is a completely new option in the settings as well. You can now activate a frame counter to measure Infinite Realms performance. When active, it will only show up in the running scenarios and only in case the mouse is moved or the bottom menu is open. The more the better, but the absolute minimum for a smooth experience is 24 FPS, the cinematic frame rate. What else? We updated the fog of war tools to be a bit more precise. But due to the fog's volumetric nature, it is just not possible to be pixel perfect. What is also bugging us is the fact that very bright scenes can shine through the fog a bit. This is why I decided to dump the third-party plugin and started writing our own fog of war system from scratch. That will be part of the next Infinite Realms release. Apart from being completely opaque, it will have significantly improved performance and new tools. I added square and hex-shaped brushes to the new system, as well as a way to add fog brushes with configurable shapes and radius to our token system. This way you will be able to clear fog of war by simply moving tokens with activated fog brushes around. And the last thing that dragged out our planned release was the cloud download system again. You may remember my rant in the last developer vlog, where I talked about implementing a custom download manager. It may not have to come to this. When we updated the content catalog for this version, we realized that a lot of the problems came from two sources: an unreliable function we used to preload content and the local cache. We were able to mitigate a lot of the negative effects by implementing a few more timeout counters, cache cleanup functions, and scrapping the old preload system. You should now get a smooth experience, and even if a problem shows up, no more freezes and loading screens. We have a plan to further improve the caching system with more automated cleanups. But for this version, we recommend doing a manual cache clean on first start. To do that, simply click Help in the main menu and Clear afterwards. You will have to restart Infinite Realms after that, and the system will re-download all required map data once you start a 3D scenario. You want to know what led us to this point? Here's the whole developer vlog playlist, and this is our original Kickstarter video. Clicking on this circle is free and will deliver all future developer vlogs right to your start page. Have a good time and see you in the next video.